I like movies, okay? I know, it's a very hot take, I'm sorry. But one thing about movies is how many suck. They are bad. Just horrible wastes of my oxygen. I'm not gonna even say the movies, okay? And enough people have talked about them before. I don't want to add to the pile of rants about Boss Baby and the Minions, but instead of just talking about garbage movies, I want to highlight one of the best. And I hear like no one talking about this movie. There's videos on YouTube about it, sure, but like it's not enough. Okay, ask your grandpa. He's gonna like, what's Rango? Don't you mean Cars 2? Ask your grandma Suzanne. Like Rango? You mean Muppet Babies? So we're talking about the movie in this video. If you couldn't tell.
Rango, 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 Rango.
It's very hard to talk about Rango without mentioning the animation. It's such an important part of the movie, but at the same time can't really be on its own without the other elements of the movie, which I'll get to when I actually get to the other parts of the movie. One of the best parts of the movie by far is the amount of variety in the visuals. It's really one of the most underrated parts of the movie though, because yeah, there's lots of deserts, but there's also like these weird dream sequences, there's beautiful sunsets, there's like fake habitats that you put your pets in, there's like these really disgusting close-ups of characters, and this, I don't know what this is, but there you go if you were looking for that. There it is, just for you. So I mentioned the gross close-ups of characters earlier, so let's go back to that. I just want to give a big round of applause to the character designer for this movie, because oh my god, they're all so good. They're all so good. Every single character feels like their own character. They're just so unique, just so much detail put in every single character. I love it. I love it. It's one of my favorite parts of the movie. It's just... I could talk about this all day. Okay, anyway, stepping away from the detail in the characters, let's just talk about the detail in the movie in general. Again, just really good. Now, I don't want to talk about like every single detail in this movie because some of them are a little spoilery, but I'll just mention one that I didn't even realize was in the movie until like today when I was searching for clips to use in my video of the movie. I found this, and it's just, it goes to show just how rewatchable the movie is, just the amount of stuff you can miss. There's a spider character, and again, just oh my god, the character design is so good. I want a spin-off movie just based around the singular spider character. But anyway, he's a coffin maker, and when Rango's just talking to some guy, you can see the spider just next to Rango casually measuring him to make a coffin for him, obviously, and it's just things like that. It just makes the movie just so good, so much just passion put into it. Like, it doesn't seem like some soulless nothing movie that's only purpose is to be something that parents stick in front of their kids' faces for 2 hours. It feels like the people that worked on this movie cared and really wanted this to be a memorable experience, which brings me to Star Wars, Adventure Time, Elden Ring, three entirely different forms of media, trying to create three entirely different worlds. But what is one thing they have in common? A good-ass world. A GA, if you will. And up there with those GAs is Rango, because obviously this is a Rango video. Yeah, it's there too. I just love this whole world, and it doesn't even feel like they scratched the surface of what they could do with it. But sadly, this movie will probably never get a sequel because of it being 12 years old now, and the director has said he's moved on to other projects. However, he has said that it will be another animated movie, which is pretty exciting. I mean, I'm really on board with any animated movie this guy makes after Rango. Like, you have me in your grasp, Gore Verbinski, okay? Do not mess it up. This movie needs to be good, okay? And you will make another one, and another one, okay? And they will all be good. Hey guys, it's me, Gore Verbinski here, and yes, they will be good. Oh, is that a yes? Oh, yep. That confirms it, guys. All of his other animated movies are gonna be amazing. Thank you, Gore Verbinski. Okay, back to Rango. Something that complements the world so well is the music. I didn't even realize the music was that special until like my third watch of the movie, but it really is. I know it's a pretty generic thing to say about a movie soundtrack, but the music always fits what's happening. Like when Rango's giving some super exaggerated speech to people to make them think he's tough, there's like this goofy banjo in the background playing. Or a lonely walk in the desert at night where the only sounds are the wind, sand, and a single guitar playing. The music creates some of the most grandest and personal moments of the entire movie, and after realizing how special it is, it's hard to imagine the movie without it. Speaking of things that are hard to imagine the movie without, if not for the animation, this would definitely be my favorite part of the movie by far. And like the animation, there's just so much care put into the writing, specifically the dialogue. And like the animation, there's just so many missable lines that add to the rewatchability of the movie. The lines are read so nonchalantly and rapidly that you're bound to miss something. Which might seem like a bad thing, but I think it really fits the whole world. Like, do you really think a movie with characters like this is gonna give you a long time to think about how someone just said they once coughed up an entire Dalmatian? Which is what I love about the movie. It's so densely written, there's not a ton of lingering time on one joke. And speaking of the jokes, they're all really good. I know our humor hasn't changed much since 2011, but like it's still a noticeable accomplishment that a lot of the jokes still land. Like going into this movie after a long time without seeing it, I kind of was nervous about some of the jokes not landing or some of the moments not being as good as I remembered, but it really has aged like perfectly, possibly like even better. Because now I could understand the more adult jokes. And don't even get me started on how many quotable lines are in this movie.
I couldn't help but notice you noticing me noticing you.
Victor, you were right. I have been undefined.
I'll kill you! You stupid lizard! Get out of there! I'm gonna strangle your huevos!
I let you kiss my sister!
What's the matter? You missing your mommy's mangoes?
Uh-huh. Killed him with one bullet.
Don't get no deader.
I've had polyps removed smarter than the two of you.
Woo! That wasn't altogether unpleasant.
It's not about you. It's about them.
But I can't go back.
Don't know that you got a choice, son. No man can walk out on his own story.
I found a human spinal column in my fecal matter once.
overall, just the absurdity of the dialogue, it just worked so well with the movie, and I wouldn't have it any other way. No, I didn't really mention any negatives about the movie, but I mean, that's kind of the point. I wanted this to be a more positive video, not, just like I said in the beginning, just not another rant about some blatantly bad movie that everyone has talked about before and how
This movie is the worst movie ever. This movie was responsible for the death of my guinea pig.
I don't want to just add to the pile. But I'll say share some cons about the movie that, like, just to balance it out. Starting with Beans, I like Beans. She's fine. She's okay. But like for the main like supporting character, I feel like they could have done a little more to make you like her. Like to be just into the character more, because when you're supposed to be like, oh no, what's gonna happen to Beans? It's like, I don't know. I don't feel much. She didn't get enough screen time for her being like the love interest and main kind of supporting character. I just feel like they could have done more with her, but it was fine. Again, it's not a big issue or anything. She didn't get like her not getting enough screen time was kind of a negative and a positive. But yeah, whatever. And not gonna lie, that's kind of it. I can't think of really any. Oh, I guess I've heard people say this from like other reviews that they don't really like the beginning that much. It's like it's not every review I've seen, but I've seen some people talk about how they don't like the beginning that much. But I think it's fine. It does what it needs to do. I don't think it's bad. I don't think it deserves some of the hate it gets. But yeah, honestly, that's really it. I don't have much to say. Yeah, just go watch Rango. Hey guys, it's me, Johnny Depp, and I have to say, this extra guy is pretty cool, and I think you should all subscribe to him.